What's going on, people? Wanted to do an update on the crypto market, looking at a few assets. Um, and unfortunately, like I was stating in the last several videos, Bitcoin with the bearish divergence, the triple RSI bearish divergence with the every new high, and the MACD bearish divergence is starting to play out to the bearish side. Starting to see his sentiment change a little bit, but still, a lot of people are still ultra bullish. Um, I have this trend line here. Actually, I have another trend line. Just playing it out on the RSI, just like a normal pattern. Um, if you break, bearishly, you're going to be probably oversold in the oversold territory. But you can see on your MACD, you have the divergence playing out on the MACD. You're starting to get negative momentum. I also had like a rising wedge plotted. I don't know if I had that on the last video, but you're starting to see just now you're breaking out bearishly, scrolling to the 4 hour, and you can see we were like consolidating and we kept bouncing out of this like little symmetric triangle, bouncing around in it. I was thinking maybe we could get it could break out bullishly, but with the bearish divergence on the daily, the odds were it was going to break out bearishly, and today you're breaking out. We need, you need more follow through. Um, Maybe you get a back test before. Delete this line right here. Maybe you get a back test before you break down more. Um, Always could be a false breakout before more upside. It's always a possibility, but as of right now, the bears are definitely in control of this market. If you look at RSI on a time scale, let me just hide this real quick. You still have room to the downside. You can see more selling. You're still, gaining negative momentum on your MACD. Just got your size getting to oversold, but you could still sell off more. If you do play this out bearishly, this is the beginning of a correction or a downtrend, sort of a downtrend for the midterm. It's like a 13% sell off potentially, and my line is a little bit off, but yeah, you get the picture. So you could be seeing manager moves around like 48,000. What's important is you really don't want to break 45,000. That's the next support on the daily and also on the weekly. I'm going to look at the weekly in a minute, but you don't want to break, this support around 45,000. Let's draw a line there. Because if you do, your next support is, this peak around 40,000, like 40,000, 40K. On a weekly, I think it's like 38K. So, that's what I'm seeing for the like more short term and more midterm. If, you come and test 45, you break this support, you're going to be testing 40, 38 to 40K next. This could take some time to play out. The selling hasn't been very violent. It's been kind of orderly, which is also good. Maybe you'll just get until it plays out, you won't know, but maybe just to hit the measure move, and then let's see if there's some type of bullish event, like bullish divergence or something like that on the 4 hour, where you could pivot and run up, or maybe you do test the 45 and then you make another lower high and you create like a head and shoulders, but that's getting way ahead of, where we're at right now. Right now, we're just starting to break out bearishly. Um, this rising wedge measure move. Let me just use this. Uh, about a 32% move to the downside. If this is the start, and 32.81 is a little off, but that gets you around, 37,000, 38,000, around that range. And that's your, going to go to the weekly. That is actually your next, like, not your next support, but your, after you break 45, that's your next support after 45, around like 38K, 35. So, that's what I'm seeing as far as Bitcoin. Again, I've been saying for, honestly, I've been telling people for the last like almost 2 weeks now. I was just not, ever since we made that new high and I saw the bearish divergence, maybe it's like a week, a little over a week. But ever since I saw that, I was like, I've been very cautious of longing, Bitcoin or longing alts. Everything's been a scalp. If it was a long, I've been accumulating in a little short positions. I think I mentioned last time one of the positions I got in was ETH down token. It's a bear token. It's like a 3x leverage. That's performing well today because Ethereum is down, today, even more than Bitcoin right now. And, looking at the weekly RSI, you have that triple RSI bearish divergence. And you're starting to, lose momentum on your MACD for the weekly. Your Scotch RSI hasn't even started to roll over yet. So this could, honestly, a lot of people are still like, I'm still seeing a lot of people maybe they're just entering into space, and they're not used to like these type of conditions. But honestly, this could really be start of a for the midterm a downtrend, and maybe you see 30K again. It's anything's possible. Like I said, you got that nasty bearish divergence, and I was also looking at the Bitcoin futures. Let me go to my list real quick and show you what I'm seeing with that. I think I shared this as well. And if you look at the CME futures, like you get a doji, and then now you're getting selling on the weekly. But looking at the daily, again, you have bearish divergence for the futures, but it's looks even worse, honestly, because you have the triple RSI bearish divergence, but you have the triple MACD bearish divergence on the daily. That's everybody has that. With this latest run, everybody's talking about how institutions are in now. You got MicroStrategies that are buying up all this Bitcoin and Square and Tesla, but they're buying physical Bitcoin, but you also have institutional traders that are just buying the futures. I mean, they see these, they know how to trade. They do not understand technical analysis. They see this, and this is not a buying opportunity. If it was the inverse, if I saw this on the MACD, and we had you were making lower lows, I mean, I would be, making content saying how, I'm going all in on Bitcoin. But unfortunately, right now, it's the opposite. So, you just have to adjust to the current conditions and become a bear. Maybe, hopefully, it's just short term. You haven't, broken anything, the long term bullish structure yet. I mean, you're still in a bull market technically. You haven't like made even a daily lower low, lower high yet. So until you break 45, you're still, you're still fine. But honestly, I think we're going to be testing, I think we're going to test and break 45. I mean, that's just me personally. Could be completely wrong. It's really early, like in this, to play out. But tomorrow or maybe 2 hours from now, who knows? Somebody comes out and says, they purchased Bitcoin and then the price jumps again, and then this, bearish divergence, that would be the only play out. Is a couple $1,000 loss, but odds are, just from my experience, when you start to see things like this after a massive run, um, you're talking like massive gains since uh, last March. Um, sorry about that. I mean, this run up has been, amazing. Um, a correction to 30,000 wouldn't shock me. And then, maybe we'll get some bullish divergence on the 4 hour or the daily and show a bullish reversal pattern and then run up. But until, like I said, this plays out, it's just speculation. Right now, the advantage right now is definitely with the bears. Let's look at Ethereum. And I've been looking at this, and what kind of has me more concerned and why I took purchased the bear token for this. Let's go into the 4 hour. There's just not as much support on this ride up as there is in Bitcoin. I mean, there's not a lot of support on Bitcoin, but you can see those clear peaks. I'm going to show you why I'm more concerned with Ethereum. And as I posted this like over a week ago, we had the potential head and shoulders pattern, and you're breaking the neckline today. So it's confirmed that this is a head and shoulders. Actually move this over here, and you're breaking out bearishly. The measure move for this, I think, was like, don't remember. I think it was 12,000, 12,000, 1,200. Hold on. 1107. It's not even that lower. You're probably going to test the support at 14. There was probably something else. I was looking at another chart. Let me scroll out to the daily. So, this is probably a test again, 1400 again, or around that area. But this kind of looks also like a double top. So you have your high and then you have a slightly lower high. And if you break, this, if you break 1400, it's really not going to be good for Ethereum. Just, making a measure move of like a double top. I'm just being conservative, not using the wicks. Talking about around like 10,000, 10,000, 1,040. Keep doing that over and over again. But 1,040 would be like your measure move. If this, you come back to this, support and you break it. And if you look left at 10,040, there's really not much support there. And that's what has me concerned. Like, you really don't want to break 1,400 for Ethereum and really like break 1,400 and really start to sell off. It doesn't look as strong as like you don't have like with Bitcoin. You had, support at like, I mean, I guess this would be your last line of support. You don't want to break really this measure move. Because if you do, like, you're coming back down to 760. And that's just really, I'm really stretching it with this type of saying this is a support. But I mean, the real support would be around like 670. And honestly, like, Ethereum has just like Bitcoin has had a big markup in price. And, now we're getting into, where you're having a lot of bearish arguments. You have that head and shoulders on the 4 hour. You're making, on a daily, I know on the MACD, you had a high and then a lower high. That's a hidden bearish divergence on a daily. and you're starting to, get the negative momentum. So you're just starting with that. You have a lot more room to go, where you can, you're nowhere near oversold on our side on the daily. Let's look at the weekly real quick. In the weekly, there's not really much of a advantage on the weekly, but again, just like with Bitcoin, the Scotch RSI is just now starting to turn over. With Bitcoin, it hasn't even returned yet. This is starting to turn and lose momentum. You lose the momentum on the MACD weekly. It's starting, to wane. So this really could just be starting. You really don't want to break 1400. You break 1400. Looking on the weekly, I mean, your next, this is not, because we got to go look even more left. Yeah. Your next support, on the weekly would be, if we break the 14, is really the 900 area and then your 800 area. So, with Bitcoin looking the way it does, and, to me, the advantage is to be a bear, to short, and, wait for there's some type of advantage to long. And with Bitcoin selling off, alts usually sell off. They perform worse. So that's what was my strategy, why I picked up the ETH down token, and why that, Ethereum was showing a head and shoulders on a 4-hour for Ethereum. The ETH down token was showing an inverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour, and you can see, you have the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and you broke the trend line. That's the measure move. It's 0.00944. And this thing has, for the last 6-7 months, has gotten slaughtered. Yeah. So if this, just looking at the Filecoin and everything else, if this does a retrace, fibs on from your high to low, I mean, that would be insane. I don't even, you have to massively sell off to ever get to these levels. I don't really think they will get to these levels, but who knows? I just took it as a way to hedge my scalp trades, but also just because everything looks so bearish, why not hold, the inverse token, and let's see how this plays out. I didn't even mention, looking at the 3-day on Bitcoin. Go back to Bitcoin real quick. That there was, bearish divergence on the 3-day as well. I like using the 3-day for, more mid to long term projections. It has been a great tool. I think in here showing the hidden bullish divergence on your MACD, and you had a higher, low, but you were making more negative momentum. Use the 3-day for a continuation to the upside, and this was back in September. Actually, I believe the day was at its low. I was calling for people to buy, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I wasn't making videos then, but it was in a Telegram group. But yeah, if you would have caught that buy, yeah, that was basically the nice run up, but of over 530%. But just looking at the 3-day as well, you have the triple RSI bearish divergence, just like on the daily, and you have MACD bearish divergence. um, just like on the daily. So I mean, there's clear like signs that that this move was, but this like the selling was potentially going to start. You haven't even started negative momentum yet on your 3 day. I think today is the close. If today was today, I think today is the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. It's the 22nd. So the close is tomorrow because this candle started yesterday. So you still have another day before this candle even closes. So you could probably get more selling. So to me, this is very significant. It's like everything is screaming to me like we're going to keep selling off. Like I said, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we get some type of, positive news and you start to pivot and run. But odds are, odds are is with the Bears. So that's just what I'm seeing right now. I'm probably going to do another video update of some altcoins that I was holding of, I think, Kin and Wax. And, until next time, peace.